Hey, manifestors. Happy today. I hope today finds you using your gifts and talents, tapping into your power and experiencing more what you love and what you came to the planet to do. I want you to know today that people will pay you. I want you to know today that there is money to be spent with you. I want you to know that today, and whatsoever state it is, you find yourself. There are individuals or entities. There are families or single people. There are old or there are young. There is somebody who will pay you for whatsoever it is you sell, you offer, or you perform. What you have to do is shift from being so focused on the people who won't, and shift your focus to the people who will, because people will pay you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They will. And part of the reason that most people who are entrepreneurs or people who have a side hustle or people who have after years been in on a employer relationship type existence, and they're ready to shift to entrepreneurship. And one of the biggest hesitations is, who's going to pay me? One of the biggest hesitations is, will they pay me? One of the resounding and reoccurring statements is, I don't have a huge team, so who's going to hire me? Who's going to contract me? Who's going to pay me in my business? Well, let me say at the onset that 85% of small businesses only have one person in the business. 85% of those who are entrepreneurs, they are solopreneurs. It is only them, and they get paid. So I encourage you to shift your mindset on a couple different areas to know that people will pay you. So if this is your first time joining me, I'm Mercedes. And yes, you are manifesting with Mercedes. I encourage you to go to manifestmoreresults.com. That's manifestmoreresults.com, and find out more about how I help people use exactly what they have to get more peace, power, productivity, prosperity, whatsoever it is they desire. That's manifestmoreresults.com. People will pay you. Before you get to the point where you rest in this whole notion of people paying you, you got to shift your mindset, right? You've got to shift your mindset about the cost of goods and services, because one of the reasons that you think people won't pay you is because you won't pay people. One of the reasons that you think people won't pay you is because you keep listening to the reports on what's going on in the economy, what's going on in specific industries, what's going on around the world. And what I'm clear on is, if you tap into the power of your power, matters not what's going on in your industry, matters not what's going on in your city, matters not what's going on around the world. Your power is not rendered null and void because of what your next door neighbor is doing. Your power is not rendered null and void because of what somebody in the company you used to work for is doing. Your power is always as strong and always as effective as long as you are believing in it, and as long as you are using it. You have to shift your mindset about the cost of goods and services, which means if you are complaining constantly about what somebody charges for their goods and for their services, you're sowing seed into a field where if you go into entrepreneurship, you will end up reaping that harvest. If somebody's charging a specific price and you don't want to pay it, go find somebody who has the price you want to pay. If somebody is often offering a specific service and you can't get what you need at the price that you either can or will pay, then find somebody, either come to an agreement with the person or respect their price, and go find somebody who will give you what you need at the price that you're willing to pay, or pay the price that you're willing to pay, because there's a difference. Or pay the price that you're willing to pay, but realizing that the deliverable that you get may be different. All of this has to do with people paying you, y'all, because you sow what you reap. What you give out is what comes back. And when we are in a space and when we are in a place, when we're constantly sowing energy into that's too expensive, when we are constantly sowing energy into I can't afford that, when we're constantly sowing energy into the opposite of what we desire for our own lives, when you are in the practice of that in your own life, then it shows back up again. Shift your thoughts on other people's prices for their goods and for their services. First of all, clear up your thoughts, clear up the energy that you have around what's too expensive and what is affordable, what's not worth the spend, and what needs to be done away with altogether. Understand me that each and every one of us has a different spending propensity in different areas. There are some things that I will invest, I will spend, I will give large sums of money for, that my good friend or somebody in my family, they won't. Such is the same with them. There are things that they will spend money on. There are things that they will purchase. There are things that they will give to. And I wouldn't spend a half a red cent on it. The thing we have to do when we're working to embrace the notion that people will pay us is to keep judgment out of our minds and keep judgment from dripping from our lips. Let people buy what they want to buy. Let people pay what they want to pay. Let people sell for the price that they want to sell for. Because be clear, if they're selling it and they keep selling it, they have a customer who will pay it, which is what I'm trying to tell you. Be clear, if they have a service that they are offering, whether it's 3 figures, 4 figures, 5 figures, or 6 figures, you can have the same product at a high-end grocery store that you have at the big box. And the people who go to the high-end grocery store pay a higher price than the people who go to the big box store. Well, what sense does that make? It means that when I create an atmosphere, when I create a mindset, when I create a desire and people want what they want from where they want when they want it, then it doesn't matter if it's $1 or if it's $1,000. There is somebody who can pay and somebody who will pay. You have to shift your thinking first to understand that and to embrace that with what you buy and or don't buy, with what you purchase or don't purchase, with what you give to or don't give to. Because in the grand scheme of things, when you can separate yourself from judging what other people charge and what they provide for what they charge, then you clear up the energy for you to be able to feel comfortable naming your price and attracting to you the people who will honor the price that you quote. So shift your mindset about the cost of goods and services for other people, but also shift your mindset concerning the cost of your goods and the cost of your services. Many times people feel difficulty. They feel uneasy about quoting their prices because they haven't taken the time to sit down and truly consider the value of what they're offering. Listen to me. I am completely comfortable in quoting 4 and 5 figures for speaking engagements and for consulting programs because I know how much I have invested in Mercedes to get the knowledge and information that I have not only taken in here in my conscious mind, but the time I have spent embedding it into my subconscious mind. I am completely comfortable quoting 5 figures, 4 and 5 figures for consulting agreements and for speaking engagements, because I know with great certainty that I have secured $500,000 to $1 million to $2 million for people in one pot. I have helped people regain control of their $100 million company. I have designed program after program after program and secured funding, multi-year contracts for funding. I know the value that I bring to people. I have worked with people one-on-one and seen their relationships transform. I have worked with people in small groups and have seen them get 6 figures in the bank in a short period of time. Have seen them double their income before the date that they identified that they wanted. I have seen them in multiples increase their business and increase their income. So I'm completely comfortable. And if what I offer and what you're willing to pay isn't the same thing, I'm glad to refer you to somebody who can give you something for what you're willing to pay, right? I am glad to pass you on to somebody who can honor the dollar amount that you're able and that you're willing to pay. Because what I'm certain of is that if you and I don't enter into an agreement for the transfer of goods and services and money, somebody, some entity is going to come along that's going to be as much or more than that. That's going to take less effort or have greater reward. What you have to do is quantify and qualify, not for other people, but quantify and qualify in your own mind the value of what you give, the value of what you bring to the table, the value of the impact that you're able to make on individuals and on communities and on whoever is the recipient of the good and the service that you offer. Here's what, even if it's a pen, right? Even if it is, you sell pens, if it's bottled water, if you sell bottled water, if it's coasters, right? You sell coasters. If this coaster is the best coaster that you believe is on the market, whether you sell it for $1 or whether you sell it for $101, you have to be confident in what this coaster, what this bottle of water, what this pen can and will do for the people who you provide it to. And you quote your price, and if they like it and want it, they give and you give. If they don't and they barter and you're willing to barter, you barter. But if they say, I don't want it, you with great confidence and great certainty, keep yourself moving on down the track, because where one person gets off, there's room for another to get on. But you have to shift your mindset to know that somebody can pay you and they will pay you. The other thing is shift your mindset concerning who will pay you, right? Who can pay you and who will pay you. Like some of y'all love to spend other people's money, right? Some of y'all like to count up what other people can and do as it relates to your goods and services, and as it relates to other people's goods and services. Y'all, I had to, so in transparency, I had this conversation with a good friend of mine. It was a picture of a young girl, young woman on the bus stop with a Louis Vuitton bag, right? We don't know if the Louis Vuitton bag was real or if it was artificial. We're going to say it was real, because if you're watching, girl, you know I love you, right? My girlfriend said, instead of spending all that money on a handbag, she should have been getting a car. And my question was why? Like, if she want to ride the bus and carry a Louis Vuitton bag, that's her value and her business, and it's neither right or wrong. And she said, well, I know when I rode the bus, I would have rather taken that amount of money and put it towards a car. But that's you, right? That's you. And I said, you saying that, but I mean, I just bought a new Louis. And she said, but you can afford it. And I said, the truth is, you don't know what I can afford. It matters not where I live, matters not what I drive, matters not if you know what I charge. You still don't know what I can and what I can't afford. And sometimes when we are in the selling business, sometimes when we are in the fundraising business, sometimes when we are in the business where we have to offer goods and services in exchange for a dollar amount, we look at people and think we can determine what they can and what they cannot afford. And y'all, you have no clue what people can and what they cannot afford. Some people also, so we did this deep dive in one of my higher tier programs about like, who is your customer? Like, some of y'all identify who your customer is, but the truth is the people who you are targeting, they're the people who you want to help, but that doesn't mean that's your customer. They're the people whose lives you want to impact, but that doesn't mean that's the person who's going to whip out their card and pay you to do what you do or to receive what you have to offer. Shifting your mindset about who can pay you means you got to go on an introspective journey to look at you, right? Shifting your mindset about who can pay you and who will pay you means you got to sweep out some of that negative energy, some of those negative thoughts concerning who's not supporting you now. Like y'all complaining about your family and your friends and your church members and the people who are in your inner circle not buying from you and supporting you. Ma'am, that's not your target audience. Sir, that's not your ideal client. So why do you keep giving energy to the people who are not a part of your avatar, the people who they not gonna be the ones buying goods and services and products from you, who gonna keep your doors open, who gonna keep your cash flowing, who's going to put you in a position to transition to the next level. You got to take your eyes off of who you think your client and your support should be and truly identify and figure out and shift your mindset to not only who can pay you, but who will pay you. There's an awesome lesson about being willing and about being able. There are people who are able to pay you. They can pay you, but they don't want to. There are people who want to pay you. They want to be a part of your program, but they can't because they don't have the money and don't see how they're going to get the money. Somebody being willing and not able, and somebody being able and not willing. Like, seriously, shift your mindset, because you're spending too much time on that person. Shift your mindset on who can and who will pay you. Because there are individuals and there are entities who actually will. What you have to do is decide what you sell, whether it's tangible or intangible. Decide what you sell, figure out your price, and then attract to you the customers that can and will pay. Identify what you sell, name your price, and then in your own head, in your own heart, in your own mind, in your own spirit, fortify that which would cause you to create the energy that brings to you the people who it is a joy to serve. Decide what you sell, good or service, figure out your price, and then do the thought work, do the energy work, do the praying, right? Do the homework that's going to create the environment like that undergirds you, that engulfs you, and that encapsulates you, so that the only thing that comes to you that penetrates that amazing force field that you have built is the customer, is the client, is the person, the people, the entities that can and will pay you. Y'all, people will pay you. Yes, they will. They will pay you. But you've got to shift your thoughts and your words and your beliefs and your behavior so that you can get both what you desire and what you deserve. I'm Mercedes, and yes, you're manifesting with Mercedes.